गणानां त्वा गणपतिगं हवामहे कविं कवीनां मुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोदिभिस्से प्रसादनं प्रणो देवी सरस्वदेवाजेभिर्वाजिनीवते दीनामवित्रयवतो गणेशाय नमः सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम। ओम साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ओम जयन्ती मंगलकाली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवदात्री स्वाहा स्वादा नमोस्तुते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Sairam Lin, Sairam from Malaysia.
Sairam Sharma, Sairam from New Zealand. Thank you, Swami, for letting Sharma and I share yet another story of your peerless healing power. Welcome to our listeners, wherever you may be. We send you our most loving Sairams. The title of our topic is Get Up and Walk. And these were Swami's actual words to a crippled doctor who had been crippled and in a wheelchair for quite a long time in his life. He was not able at all to use the power of his legs and relied on everyone around him to help him get to Prashanti Nilayam. It's not easy when you are in a wheelchair, and I know this for a fact because we took a lady in a wheelchair just getting on the plane and, being able to get off the plane, moving around in airports, trying to board another plane, and then getting into taxis and so on is very, very difficult for a person in a wheelchair. And yet people who really, really wanted to be with Swami, and hopefully Swami make them well, make them walk again, flocked to the ashram. Indeed, in Kulwant Hall, and even before then, before Kulwant Hall was built, there was always a wheelchair section for people who were in wheelchairs, both on men's side and ladies' side. On ladies' side, the wheelchair people were quite far away from the darshan area, but Swami would often make a detour and walk past them all, giving them all so much joy. I did not ever see Swami cure anyone who was in a wheelchair in the darshan line. However, things took a very different turn in the interview room. Mata Betty took with her on one of her trips a doctor, as I was relating, who was very seriously crippled and in a wheelchair. You could see that he had been a long time patient because his face was really quite, gaunt, and his complexion quite pale, very chalky looking, because often wheelchair people don't often get to get outside as much as you and I might be able to. But he did look very even unwell, simply because of being confined to a wheelchair for so long. But on one day, Swami called this group in for interview, and after welcoming Mata Betty and seeing to her needs, he then turned to the doctor. And as I said, Swami always addressed the person in the room who was most in need of his grace and love. He simply put his arms and hands under the doctor's armpits and lifted him up and said, "Get up and walk." And the doctor did. And you can see this in the photographs from the interview. The most extraordinary thing was afterward, the whole doctor's face and complexion had changed. He was rosy, he was beaming the most beautiful smile, and even the gauntness and suffering from his face was completely gone. Mata Betty looks extremely happy in this photograph, as you will see, because there is nothing more uplifting to anyone to see someone instantaneously cured. We have read about it if we were brought up in the Christian faith. We read about Jesus making the blind to see and the crippled to walk, and we could only wish that there was someone on earth in these times who could do the same. Indeed, it was said that people just had to touch the hem of Jesus's robe to be cured of their suffering, whatever it might be. Now, Swami can do it. We have seen him do it in interviews where he simply touched a person who was very unwell, and the person became bright as rain. Swami said, "Walk on this earth with your head held high, your spirit soaring, and your heart open to love. Believe in yourself and in the God within you, and then all will go well. Whenever you walk, I am there. Whomsoever you contact, I am in that person. I am in each. And from each I will respond. You cannot see me in one place, for I fill all places. You cannot escape me or do anything in secret." And this is something I noticed about Swami in the interview room. There were no secrets from Swami, not one. He knew everyone's past. He knew all of our lives, and he could, when the occasion called for it, remind someone of something that happened in their past life that was causing them difficulty in this life. Now, he did not say anything to the doctor as to why he had to be crippled in this life. However, he did explain that we come into the world with not only the garland of karma around our necks, the karma of deeds that we did in our past lives that have precluded us and caused us difficulty in this life. Professor Anil Kumar compared these qualities to the springs in an old sofa. He said you can have this old sofa, that has springs in the seat, but it is covered up by fabric. And he called them vasanas. These are tendencies that have come forward from the past life. And Anil Kumar said you can be sitting very comfortably on the sofa. You think that everything is fine, and then all of a sudden one of these springs bursts through the fabric on the sofa and smacks you in the behind. And this is what happens when sometimes something befalls us in this lifetime that we were not expecting. It can be an accident, it can be temporarily becoming paralyzed, crippled, losing the use of an arm or a leg, or worse. These things suddenly bounce up, and we don't know where they came from or why does it have to happen to us. How many times have we heard people say, this shouldn't have happened to him or her? Or the person who is injured says, why did this happen to me? I am a good person. I love everybody. I haven't done anything to anyone else to deserve this. And that is because we have that veil in front of our face. We don't know what we did in our past lives that might have brought on this untoward event. However, no matter how bad it is, if we are Swami's devotee, he will have made sure that the full force of the karma did not take effect on us. Indeed, I remember, just to digress a little bit, but really on the same subject, Dr. Goldstein of the American organization once said that Swami asked him when was he leaving. And Mr. Goldstein said, Swami, I'm leaving today. And Swami said, no, don't go today. Goldstein said, Swami, I am booked on the airplane. I must go today. Swami several times urged him not to go, but Goldstein went anyway. He and his wife boarded the plane, and the plane was hijacked. And it was a very tense situation. The hijackers were determined to kill everyone on the plane, but miraculously, the plane was able to land and the hijackers were arrested. Goldstein later went back to Swami, and Swami said, Goldstein, you were fated to die on that day. That is why I kept asking you not to go. But your wife was the entire time chanting Gayatri mantra when the hijackers were holding up the plane. It is because of your wife that you were saved, Goldstein. Never forget this. So you see, even one person can avert the fate of many by simply chanting the Gayatri mantra. I would always encourage all of us, if you do not already, to chant Gayatri at least 3 times a day. And I tell you, one of the best places to chant it is in the shower or when you are taking bath in the morning. I hope you have enjoyed this short story of another incident of Swami's miraculous ways, his all-knowingness, his all-caringness, and his great, great love for all of us, his beloved children. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Tasmat karunya bhavena raksha raksha Saishvara. Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Saishvara Arpanamastu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.